I'm gonna open up the phone lines for this queen who's about to bless us with her presence. She's been on the show before. I've always said she's just one of those artists that wait till the world find out. Wait till the world find out. And sometimes artists be so great and so good as folks that don't assist them in letting the world find out. I don't understand that. The person's so good and you know they're good, but you don't do what it takes to help them get to that next level. We've been doing that with this young lady. And I got a chance to see her perform at South by Southwest. I've seen her perform in other ways. I've watched her on her social media. She and I have been in contact. She has a new album that we're going to talk about in a second.
Dope.
Called Vintage Babies 2, Queen of Culture. HB, I ain't been on an album in a long time, but I made this one, damn it. I made this one.
I made it. I was there. I was there.
You were there. And I don't, this is a very talented person right here. I don't even know how to put it to words. And what makes her so great is the messaging in her music is so refreshing and powerful. It's the type of album you should play your kids, especially for young women. Play your kids this project. Go through the songs, break down the meaning, get between the lines. I got her. We got her right now. 888-742-3345. We're talking about Mumu Fresh. Let's take them back. When she wrecked that John Baptiste session we did here on Sway in the morning. Let's take them back, Wonder.
I was raised by OGs who lived by the creed, who told me count my money where no one could see. And if you didn't count it twice, and you ain't counted right. And if you gotta do dirt, don't bring it home at night. Don't shit where you eat, don't do business where you sleep. Don't run your mouth about things that don't concern you and your peeps. Good grief, you always gotta weed out the creeps. I better known the best way to get rid of a thief. Nothing in life is free. Oh, everything costs something, whether your mind or your time or your loving. Then they inquiring about how bad you want it. Always know how far you willing to go. Don't gain the whole world just to lose your soul. Good chicks will expose all the friends from foes and keep that same energy through the highs and the lows.
Yeah, man, one of my favorite MCs out today. I listen to her music like it's the first time every time. What a powerful project. Vintage Babies 2, Queen of Culture. Let's open up the phone lines. I want y'all to get connected with Mumu Fresh. So when she blow, she's already blown up, and when she blow, y'all was there with her. 888-742-3345. Queen, Grand Risings, Mumu Fresh.
Mumu Fresh.
Hey. Oh, man. That interview got me teary-eyed. I'm over here so hyped.
Yes.
Come on.
Thank y'all so much. Oh, man, I love y'all
so
much.
Thank you, sis. Thank you.
They scared.
Oh, man.
Mumu Fresh.
I'm so excited. Yes.
I'm excited, too. I like excitement.
Yes.
I even like fear. Some of my best results have come from fear, which is really not a figment of my imagination. So it's really motivating myself.
Come on now.
Fear, you scared of something that ain't happened yet, right? And then, but I feel like I listened to this project and I'm thinking, there's so much room for this. There's you know what I mean? There's so much room for this musicality. There's so much room for this messaging. You know, she put together some really incredible videos. One called Rap God. That's incredible. Back to the Money. That's incredible. And I'm the first person to ever see a new one called North Star featuring D Smoke, who just, Mumu hit me, I think 2 days ago, I believe, and gave me some really good news that's happening in his life. And I think it's amazing. I want to know, Heather and I here, Tracy is not in today, just for clarity. I want to talk about the Rap God in the beginning of the video. First of all, the video production these videos are like short films, right? And But what it feels like, this is something like when you at home, you know, when I put out my next album, this is what I want to do. You know, when you got a vision board or wish board, it seems like these are messagings and images and things you've always wanted to say. Rap
Absolutely,
God, right? Yeah. So what tell me your thought process on making these elongated videos, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. What was your thought process?
Well, I always say, I'm a panoramic experience. You can't really see me in a 3x5. And people always,
Yes.
I think people always talk about how our generation is like we have a short attention span, so don't give people too much snapshot. But my thought is like, but what if we did give them too much? What if we did give them enough to sink in, to focus their mind in, right? Because when you're doing like guided meditation, the whole idea is like to focus in, to be introspective, to observe, and we have so much to say, and I think that we are change makers, so we don't just adapt to the times, and go along with whatever we're being told to go along with, but we change the times, we shift the focus, we give you something else. And the kind of concept was that we were like kidnapping these influencers, because a big part of what we do is, and I've been very adamant about this my whole career, like, there are certain types of cultures that I won't support. I don't support the murder of young black people in the streets. You know what I mean? No matter what your bar is about, I'm not going to be on a song that supports the murder of black people, of brown people. I'm not going to do that, no matter how dope it sounds. I'm not going to support the degradation of women, no matter how dope it sounds, no matter how dope the beat is. It's just certain concepts. I'm not going to be on the track. I'm not going to support it. I don't want to have nothing to do with it, because that blood will be on my hands too.
So you believe,
mm-hmm.
Not to cut you off, but so artists who spit bars verses about murder or killing their op or all of those things aren't people you would jump on tracks with? Or
I haven't. Like, I normally will ask, like, can I hear the music first? And everything is about context.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, I'm not on my Mahatma Gandhi per se, you know what I'm saying? But I'm also like, what's the context? Because no matter what we say, we lead by example, right? It's not about what we lead by example, and we do encourage the next generation. We create soundtracks for people to live their lives to. So I'm always like, no matter how big the artist is, I'm like, can I hear your verse first? Because if you are talking about exploiting women, or, exploiting
mm-hmm.
children, murder culture, drug culture, I grew up in Baltimore City that's devastated by crack and by heroin. It's not funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't cool to me. I know what drugs does to families. I know what mass incarceration does to families and to communities. There's nothing funny about that. And it's one thing if we're depicting and telling a story, about what we've experienced, right, as a griot. And it's another thing when we glorify it and we help create perpetuate that same stereotype again and again and again. Because you see, young rappers who don't really have to trap no more. Or maybe they never had to trap, period. Maybe their parents did well enough where they send them to good schools, and they still want to perpetuate the same things that generations before them talked about, because we made it sound so dope. The generation before me made it sound so dope that we're stuck in it now, and we can't even grow from it, even though we don't live that life anymore. So I'm aware of those sorts of things, and I think because I've lived in it, lived in it for real. Like, The Wire was real. Like, I understand that life. It's nothing. There ain't nothing to be glorified at all. There's nothing attractive about that life. So in the video, we're like kidnapping all these influencers who don't live that life, but they're perpetuating these stereotypes, and we're reprogramming them to find another way to attract fans, find another way to live in your light and your highest self, and figure out what your purpose is, what you come here for. You ain't come here to be a part of a minstrel show. Like, what are you really here for? So it goes into depth, and it's 2 music videos put together. And it calls people out. It calls people to figure out why you're here. Stop kicking around, wasting time, creating everything you don't want to see. So.
The thing about those influencers that she's talking about, Heather, I mean, when you look at it, it just looks like they're portraying a lot of the young women we see rapping in the game today. Was that on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that too. I mean, but it's men in there too. But yeah, also, I mean, and I say this because, so I come from a matrilineal line, right? And there's a lot of emphasis put on the consciousness of a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's an African proverb that says a nation can't rise higher than the consciousness of their women, because they're the first mothers. You know what I mean? So if our women are not living in their higher consciousness, how you educate the babies? How the kids gonna grow up in a higher consciousness? So I do feel a responsibility, my focus a lot of times is on women, raising our vibration, raising our higher consciousness, because you're gonna be we are, whether we accept it or not, we are the leaders. We really we shift culture, we set the pace, we set standards, and and we raise the children.
Yeah. There's a line, and then I'm gonna step out, where you say you have traded your true power for false powers in the monologue leading up to the music video beginning. Who are you talking to, and what do you mean by that?
I think most of what we engage in, what we think is power in a colonized world, right? This Western world that we live in is colonized, and we put value on money and jewelry and trips to Mexico, you know what I mean? The things that we put value on, and we are willing to trade in our humanity, our integrity. We are willing to sacrifice the next generations of our lineage for this momentary feeding of the ego, and that's not where your true power lies. Your true essence is something inside of you. You ain't gonna find it in a store, in a designer store, inside of a designer bag. Like, it's an essence that's inside of you, and that's what, we'll spend time cultivating everything else. You cultivate your hair, your nails, but you haven't cultivated yourself. Your soul ain't cultivated. You know what I'm saying? You still an infant inside of your soul. You've done no personal development on healing your triggers or your generational trauma, and you want to dress it up and make it look valuable, but
cover it.
You haven't done the work. And you'll know you haven't done the work, because all that stuff at some point got to come off. And what's left?
Mumu Fresh is here with us, citizens. 888-742-3345.
I love it.
The album is called Vintage Babies. It's out tomorrow. Queen of Culture, HB. We got the Queen of Culture right here.
I love it. Mumu, thank you, sis. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for just your words and your honesty and your truth. I'm just a fan, and I hug you, and I tell you that every time. I'm blessed to see you, because this is just personally for me. Every time I see your name pop up on something, every time I see you, just inside, and I think even out loud, I just go, yes. It's just a reminder that somebody, and that somebody, be God, whatever, just checked that box and championed for you and pushed you forward and said, this light needs to be present. And in the midst of all of the stuff that you just spoke about, is always calming and a reminder that true talent does matter, and somebody that stands for something and represents for something, it matters, and it's out here. We just have to get behind that. And I think a lot of times people will get quiet and be quiet, and to your point, cover up a lot of things, and not address the real issue. And when you could help champion the talented people that's out here and help bring them to the spotlight. So for me, when I see you, it's just yes, always. It's like, yo, word, they got her, she showed up, yo, I see you in the background right there, Saturday Night Live, Mumu, I see you over there, bro, and I'm just screaming and yelling, and I see her. So I mean, we all deal with frustrating things as artists, but just know, sis, your light is so bright. It don't matter if you in the background, under the ground, on top of the roof, just in the ceiling, in the basement, eating grits. We see you and we love it. And so thank you, for real.
Oh my God, thank you so much. It means so much to me. Oh man.
Just from my heart, sis. From my heart. For real.
Thank
you.
Man. Heather got me in tears.
I know. That means so much to me, because it's like when you don't do the status quo thing, like my first time really coming to the music industry, I had no idea what it was gonna be like. I didn't know that the only position for a black woman was bent over. You know what I'm saying? And it took a long time to be able to stand my ground and have success, because there's no space there for you. You know, it's like, oh, you want to have integrity? Yeah, all right, get to the back.
Yeah. Right.
And
you trying to have morals?
For real.
We ain't doing that today. Yeah.
You trying to spit knowledge?
Yeah. So it's just, you know, it's been a long journey, but it's like the world is shifting, and there is an openness to consciousness now. There's an openness to, you know, healing and personal development and growth, and people want to hear something different. And, you know, there's an opportunity for women who really spit bars to come to the forefront without that being so offensive to people. Like, it used to be offensive, like, what you doing here trying to exist? You know?
Yeah.
And now there's like an open space. So, you know, God is good. I'm happy to run through it. I'm going to run through it.
There you go.
Sis, yes.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is room for this. There's space for this, what you're doing. It's powerful. And you know what? It may not be McDonald's. It may not be a quick meal. You know what I mean? This is going to be a sit-down 5-course meal. You know what I mean? That's what this is going to be.
You know, family dinner on Sunday. Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. It ain't going nowhere. It's going to stick to your ribs, too. We got Aria on the line from Atlanta.
Aria! What a beautiful name.
Hi.
Hey.
At the dentist with my daughter.
Okay. Tell her we said hi. Tell your daughter we said hi.
Yes, thank you. So excited. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm nervous. I'm Aria from Atlanta. And Mumu, I first saw you probably like 2018, 2019 when you were at Apache Cafe with Ingrid B on the B side. And I love Ingrid. And I just remember just being in awe of you. I just remember standing on the stage or sitting at the stage and just like being so moved by your words, by your presence, by your aura. And it's just like your essence just came through. And I was just like, who is this? Like, it felt like I've never been where, like, I've never seen Erykah Badu in person, but I feel like that's what it would have felt like had I seen her. It was just, like, so powerful. I'm just like, who is she? And I've just been following you on Instagram ever since, and I'm just, like, so excited just to see your growth. And just, I just wanted to say congratulations. That's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate that. I remember that night. We had so much fun.
It was. So oh, my God.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Aria.
It would be great to have you back in the A if you ever come back.
Well, you know how she could get
I'm
there?
soon.
You got to support her music. Support her music. Vintage Babies, too. Out tomorrow. Support it. She'll be there.
I will. You already know it. I'm there.
Okay. Thank you, Aria. You and your daughter are citizens.
Sway in the morning.
All right. Hey, we're going to go to Oregon, man. I love that state of Oregon. Jordan, Grand Risings.
Yes, Sway.
Hey, how y'all doing?
What's happening, man? We got
What's
Mumu Fresh
happening?
here.
Hey, I just want to tell this lady right here, Mumu, the messages in your music, we need more of that because the youth these days it's getting bad, especially with this virus and everything. But I just wanted to give you a little shout out. Your music is amazing. The positive message, you do completely the opposite of what we see in the hip hop game now. And I just wanted to say thank you and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Hey, Jordan.
And if you ever come to Portland, I'll be there.
Okay, I love Portland.
Hey, Jordan, you know how, it's only a plane flight away, but you got to pay for the ticket. So it's important that you support our album, Vintage Babies 2, Queen of Culture.
Yes, sir, I definitely will.
Okay, I think I might be the last person. You're a citizen, Jordan, that really try to push people to support the albums and the music. This is just a quick. We're giving you an appetizer of Mumu today. We're gonna come back and do something more extensive as the everything is opening up. But I'll be remiss if I didn't mention my good friend of at least damn near 30 years. I don't even know if you know it's been that long, Mumu, with him and I. Because I knew him when he was a battle DJ and he started working with Common. And I know all the stuff he did with J. Cole. And when he was he was the first person to really hip me and Rich Nice to who you are, and was sending us music. Did he produce this whole album, DJ Dummy?
The whole album, yep. Yeah, that's our Vintage Babies is like our production writing team. So everything we do together is vintage babies. So yeah.
Okay, the musicality is just in a great way. It's I don't even have a word. I'm at a loss for words. The musicality is so refreshing and it's expansive. It's very out the box to me. It's everything is cinematic, you know, and and it's that was y'all purpose though, right, in the studio?
I don't know that we thought about it like, let's make this cinematic. It just was honest and real, you know. That's just where we were at. I mean, we started the album right before the pandemic started, and I actually had a concussion when we were first recording. So a lot of that stuff, I couldn't even look at my screen. Normally I'll write on my phone and look at the screen. So some of that stuff we just like freestyling and just getting the vibe out, and it just was the mood of the time. And then we go into the pandemic and all this different stuff is happening, and we, you know what I mean? So we just was in the mood of the times. The times felt cinematic. Like 2020 felt like a movie. Like where are we? And then when we started filming, I think too, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. You know, it just, when I realized, when I started, I went to film school for a couple months, and my family couldn't afford for me to stay. So I said, you know what? If I got to start at the bottom of an industry, I'd rather start in music because I was already recording and stuff. But I always wanted to make movies, and I have so many ideas in my mind. And I don't feel like I've seen myself, an artist like me or a woman like me, really represented like that on the screen. So there were stories that I wanted to tell that I hadn't seen be told. So like North Star featuring D Smoke, which is you'll hear that song tomorrow when the record drops. And it's gonna be a part of the Essence Music Festival. That piece started out with these quilt pieces. I read a story about the patchwork pieces that were used to help us escape from slavery. And so each patchwork piece was a different meaning. And people who ran safe houses on the Underground Railroad, they would hang these quilts out on the clothesline. So if you were escaping and you saw that quilt, you knew where you were in the journey to getting from, say, Georgia to Canada. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Wow. And your only GPS was a North Star. And I was talking to my son one day when he was, I was taking him to school, and I said, babe, we live in a world where people will try to confuse you all the time about who you are, about what you're capable of, what your purpose is. And just like our ancestors used that North Star to find their way, you got to use this internal guidance system, these things that I'm telling you, to go back to who you know you are in yourself. So then when the world try to confuse you and get you lost, you know what I'm saying, you got to hold on to that thing on the inside of you that shows you where center is. You only know how far left or right you are based on where center is. So me and Smoke was having that conversation in the studio, and he talking to me about his upbringing and things, lessons his mother taught him that would keep him safe in the streets later on. You know what I mean? When you find yourself caught up in some stuff, and you got to say to yourself, this ain't me. I ain't got no business being here. This ain't me, you know? And we started writing a song like that. So in the video, we kind of go back to the 1860s. And it also plays on the concept of us being vintage, right? The last video was based in the 1960s. So then we went back to the 1860s to show this young man trying to find his way through the woods. And it ain't no different in the concrete jungle, in the belly of the beast, trying to find your way. So,
yo, you speak so poetically, man. I almost started snapping fingers. I was like, damn, did you say that? Wow, listen, it's an amazing project, citizens. Something great to listen to over this weekend. Mumu Fresh. Where can people follow you? Give out your social, because the lines are lit up. But we got Ron Isley about to call up. As a matter of fact, he's about to jump on. Yeah, that was a stunt. Tell folks how they can reach you.
I'm on Instagram at Mumu Fresh, MU Fresh. I'm on Facebook at Mumu Fresh. My Twitter handle is my real name, Maimuna Youssef, because somebody's holding Mumu Fresh for ransom, but we'll get them. Yeah. And you can watch all the music videos on my YouTube channel. My website is mumufresh.com, MU Fresh. Yeah, so get with it. The album drops tomorrow. I'm so freaking excited and nervous.
That's dope.
Oh yeah, my
man.
God.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, listen, you did it. Nothing to be nervous about. You did it. It's an amazing project, Mumu Fresh. I'm going to play the song called Rap God, Citizens, Mumu Fresh. Well, I can play what you want me to play. What you want me to play?
You can play North Star. Well, I don't know. You can play. I like Work too. You can play Work. I don't know. That's become a workout song. So many trainers are now making videos to that song. Work. That song
okay. Give me another one other than Work.
North Star. I was saying, Back to the Money. Back to the Money.
Back to the Money. Back to the Money got an ill video to it. Okay, this is Mumu Fresh.
Yeah.
Back to the Money. She got a lot to pick from, so make sure y'all get her album.
That's
Vintage.
when you know you got a banger.
Yeah, we like, well, which one? I don't know. Which one you thinking?
This or that.
Hey, and how about They All Work? Okay, the new album is Vintage Babies 2, Queen of Culture. Congratulations, sis. This is Back to the Money. Awesome video, and we'll talk soon. And thank you for including me on your project.
Oh, thank you for doing it. We are honored. Thank you so much, Troy.
Absolutely. Y'all can hear me on there. Go ahead, get that.
You know what?
Hey, man, we got the iconic Ron Isley is here, man. Ron Isley is on the line. So we're going to open up the phone lines, 888-742-3345. Here's Mumu Fresh.